I finally got the tractor put back together, so I have a lot of projects that need to be done. One is building a ramp to get into the shop, so I don't have to keep setting up my steel ramps there to get in and out with the tractor, or the wood ramps for the lawnmowers. Got some backfilling to do around the shop and a lot of grading, final grading up here by the shop, and then down by the creek have a whole lot of work to do down there. Got a lot of rocks to move and a lot of material to bring up. It's still a work in progress as far as widening the creek and deepening the creek. So when the next flood season comes through, we won't have as much washout as we've had the last two floods we had right after moving here. But we hear that that was kind of unusual heavy rain for this area. So we'll see how the future years go. Burned a lot of brush piles right here because this soil is so sandy. We want to get some nutrients into that sandy soil so we can eventually grow some grass on top of here after I drag some more material up and layer it on top of these areas here. We have another burn ban in place, so we can't burn anymore for a while. It's so hot and dry. This is August. So I'm just cleaning up these burn piles. I have a bunch of leftover cut off 4x6s here, as well as some 4x6 by 8 footers that I was going to use for fixing up the wood barn over there. But I plan on making some equipment mats out of these cut-offs, as well as those 8 footers. I think I have like 10 8 footers. And you'll see what the importance is of those mats once I get down to scraping out the creek some more. I'll kind of point out what we're up to here. We had a couple of floods the beginning of 2025. This is August 2025, but you can see by the debris along the fence, the water got all the way up to here. And the creek is down there, so all this was underwater. So I'm going to put a bunch of riprap all along here and then backfill it, and that'll be kind of like the end of our yard, say. And this will be kind of no man's land. We'll be getting flooded once in a while. We'll have fires and stuff down here. It'll serve some recreational purpose. But the creek down here, I've been trying to straighten it out. And these big rocks, believe it or not, used to be stacked up right there, right where that bent over T-post is. And the water was rushing through here and undermined it, and all those rocks fell in there. But the creek used to go over that way and would undercut that bank over there. You can see the roots of that tree there. So I plan on putting some riprap over that way and scraping this out more. Taking a lot of this cleaner sand. I've been spraying the weeds to keep the weeds down, but I'm going to scrape up this sand and put it up there where my wife is right there. And we'll dig a little catch pond there to keep the silt and soil and sand from always so much of it washing down here into the creek and filling it back in. But there's a lot of rocks over there. A lot of the sand got washed off there, which was a blessing because it exposed the rocks that I didn't know were under there, and all those rocks are going to be moved over to where I just pointed out. All this riprap along here, as well as dumping some along over there. Well, that's that. Got the swing moved. Moved it for two reasons, because I wanted it in the shade of this tree here, and because when I start scraping off the soil where the Suburban and trailer is sitting and the tractor is sitting, I'm going to scrape all that, and I got to pitch it an opposite way of what it is now, so a lot of this soil is going to go in here. There's kind of a little dip in the yard. Maybe you can tell that by the fence line back there. But a lot of that soil is going to go there. It'll just make it easier if the swing's not in the way to accomplish that. These clamp-on tractor forks, I've never been a fan of these, but moving is so expensive. We spent so much money with the move and putting up the shop building and everything. I didn't get the regular type of pallet forks, skid steer quick attach. That's what this tractor has. Skid steer quick attach. Some quick attach regular forks. But these serve the purpose for what I needed to do right now. I really got these more for moving brush piles around, because we're having to cut a lot of trees, trim a lot of trees, and we got all these big brush piles to move, and it's getting tiring, dragging and lifting, piling them up on a pile, so this will make that easier. It is a hassle putting these things on because of the way they got these. If this was something I could put an impact on, like a nut head, a hex head, that would be much better. So I may change that if I can get my impact in there somehow. The other thing is they supply these two yellow plates, and I wasn't sure where they go or what they really did. And it just seemed more of a hassle having those plates in there, because I put them inside the bucket, not underneath the bucket. I was trying to anyway, and they were just moving as I tried to tighten up a bolt there. They were just something else to just move around and have to deal with. So this thing, I don't know if it's really needed. It is supposed to help to maintain the spread so that these don't start to move and loosen up. I think I'll take that thing off there and not use it anymore. But anyhow, that's that situation. Got other things to do next. I gotta weld this. This had some really bad welds on it originally, and it was bent. This box blade I got used with a tractor I bought, a Ford tractor I bought. I didn't want the box blade, but he said it was a package deal, so I took the box blade. I bought this years ago. I'm finally getting around to using it. And this was already bent, like I said, and then I hooked it on a root, and it broke these two plates, the welds here. And I already showed those in a picture, but I'll show them again here. So that's that. So I'm gonna get that welded today. I'm gonna do the welding. I just have my little flux core wire welder. I have a stick welder that I would rather use, but I don't have any electricity for that, and I don't want to climb up into the attic and run some electric so I can put an outlet in the attached garage of the house. It's just been too dang hot. It's probably 120 or so up there during the day, and probably still 80 or 90 at night up there. It's the first time we've seen them on this side of the creek during the day. Well, the tractor was getting loud very quickly. I popped the hood and here's the muffler right here. Not even attached anymore. I had to weld this in the past because it had broke all around here. So my weld held up, but the previous owner of the tractor who told me they welded this, their weld was no good-o. So I welded this because I couldn't get another muffler right away, so I ordered a muffler and welded this up, and then I got the new muffler in. And here that is. It's the new and improved version. It's an improved version because it has this strap here to strengthen up this connection here to the mounting plate. This is a lot of weight and it was breaking here. So, and it didn't help that I lost this bolt. And when I got this tractor going again recently, because of the spindles that I replaced, got it going after that, and I checked a lot of bolts, and I know I checked that bolt to make sure that was tight. I checked these to make sure they were tight, all the loader bolts, bolts on the rear, bolts on the bucket. But I lost that bolt, and then all that crappy weld broke loose. Okay, so getting the projects lined up here. I'm going to put a new tongue on this trailer, straight one. It'll haul straighter, whether it's hooked up to mowers or even the bird with a low drop hitch on it. The other thing I got is the box blade there with the crappy weld that I showed you earlier. I'm don't consider myself a very good welder, very great welder anyway, but boy, I can sure do better than what I've been discovering on some of these pieces of equipment.